Former Acting Solicitor General Neil Katyal, an MSNBC analyst, and Maya Wiley, a former SDNY civil prosecutor. Welcome to both of you. Neil, it seems that, as I mentioned, there's a lot happening right now, but this has Donald Trump's attention. He seems intent on already arguing that if Powell talks, whatever she says doesn't relate to her work for him.
Yeah, Ari, I loved your reporting in the last segment because I think it got it exactly right. This prosecutor, Fani Willis, is showing her conspiracy chops. She's batting 100%, and she's doing so with two attorneys that are pretty much the opposite of Maya and me. I mean, these are MAGA Trump attorneys who've said, yes, we committed crimes, felonies and misdemeanors. And so it makes it hard for Trump to spin it away. He's trying by saying, oh, Sidney Powell was never my lawyer, which is contradicted by his own tweets and stuff like that. And, you know, I think there's two questions that your set piece before this asks. One is kind of, what is this testimony going to be like from Powell and Chesbrough? And two, will there be more dominoes to fall? And on the first, I think the testimony is going to be very significant. And the reason, the tell for me, is that Fani Willis agreed to plea deals with no jail time. And you only do that if the testimony is really pretty powerful and compelling. And indeed, Sidney Powell and Chesbrough have both taped their testimony in advance of the plea deal coming out, and they're sworn not to talk about it with anyone, including members of the media or notably other defendants, i.e. Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's a good point you raise, and that goes to the legal calculus of the prosecutorial strategy behind the deals we saw cut. Maya, I want to refresh people's memory and show you a little bit of Powell talking about what was an off-the-books meeting even in Coup land. So you think about what Meadows was saying he welcomed. We have it in writing, a lot of extreme stuff. And then Powell and some of these other figures were so extreme they had to almost sort of sneak or push their way in, which was the context for one of the January 6th committee hearings that showed just how brazen and intense and sort of potentially authoritarian or wannabe authoritarian it got. So here's Powell talking about that meeting.
Did you believe that it was going to work, that you were going to be able to get to see the president without an appointment?
I had no idea.
In fact, you did get to see the president without an appointment.
We did.
How much time did you have alone with the president? And I say alone, you had other people with you, but
right
from his aides before the crowd came running?
Probably no more than 10 or 15 minutes.
Was in that...
I bet Pat Cipollone set a new land speed record.
She's known for that rhetorical style. There was even some of that on display in the courtroom last week, Maya. But what she's referring to is that what they were doing was so egregious that the sort of Trump, Republican, Federalist Society in-house lawyer was running to stop it. What do prosecutors want to show, Maya, that Powell's conviction for this voter data breach could somehow go all the way back up to Meadows or Trump?
Well, I mean, look, I'm just going to start by saying keep me in a room with Neil Katyal and don't put me in a room with these other attorneys, because really what's happened with their plea deals is they've said, yeah, there was a shared purpose for this enterprise, this group of people who got together with one purpose and one purpose only, and that was to make sure that Donald Trump was able to succeed in overturning the election of 2020. And that's really the premise of the Fulton County case. And both of them, I mean, to your point about this December 18th meeting that you're referencing here, that she's discussing in that clip, this was a meeting in which they were advancing that purpose in a very pleasant meeting, apparently with Donald Trump, until, to your point, his own other attorneys got involved and said, this is crazy. You have no evidence. And in that discussion, when it was directly put to her, do you have evidence? Her response was to be outraged to even be asked. For evidence. Any lawyer knows you don't bring a claim unless you have some facts, some evidence that supports it. So, you know, everything that we know about both Chesebro and Powell's engagement, one was that they were directly engaged. They had high-level conversations. Powell herself directly with Donald Trump. She was even potentially being considered to be a special counsel to investigate this voter fraud. That was the same draft executive order they were presenting in that meeting. It's outrageous, but to your point, Ari, and to Neil's point, there is just a lot of information in the public record that suggests that she's going to have, and so will Chesebro, a lot of information to share, and that goes directly to the White House into that meeting.
And Donald Trump was asked about this. Again, as I mentioned, he's keeping a close watch on it. He's posting statements about it. He doesn't have to do that, certainly not in his own pen. I mean, he could have a lawyer say something more measured. We did quote last week, Neil, his lawyers saying, well, truthful testimony will only help him. Sort of a broad, kind of normal-ish statement. Today, though, we showed he posted about Powell, and then he also said this. Take a look.
Mr. President, you said Sidney Powell wasn't your attorney. Are you concerned that you won't be covered by attorney-client privilege?
No, not at all. We did nothing wrong. We did nothing. This is all Biden indictments and impeachments. This is all about Biden.
Neil?
Dios mio. I mean, first of all, it has nothing to do with Biden. Biden is thoroughly insulated from this prosecution. He has nothing to do with it. It's done by the special counsel in the federal level, and at the state level, it's a Georgia district attorney. Nothing whatsoever to do with Biden. Totally separate governmental system. But I think what you are seeing, or a bigger picture, is you're seeing Trump do what he always does. When he gets in trouble, he tries to have someone else hold the bag, and he abandons them. And that's what he's doing now with Sidney Powell, and what he will do time and again, as he has in the past. And that is why, when you were showing those pictures of dominoes falling earlier, I think that's exactly right. Because if you're one of the other 16 defendants now, you know that you're at risk of being the next Sidney Powell. And there's only one choice for you, which is to play by the law, go tell your evidence, tell what happened, tell the truth, and, accept the consequences, because Trump is not going to protect you. And that is why, this happens in conspiracy case after conspiracy case. Once a couple people start to flip, others follow.